Look, I know you're busy. I know that you barely have enough time to feed yourself, let alone those that you're responsible for. You want to make food that's the healthiest, but so often healthy food is boring, right? Well, you want to learn how to make delicious and quick and easy recipes, and I'm Chef Daniela Malfitano. I've got you covered. Today, we're going to make rainbow chard patties. These are so delicious and so versatile. I love this vegetable. You can make this recipe at the beginning of the week, like today, and you can use it in a number of different recipes throughout the week. So let's get going. All right, so this is rainbow chard. Take a look. Hello, how beautiful is this? This is a huge leaf. It comes with these beautiful stalks and huge green leaves on the top, and they come in every color. I've got yellow, I've got pink here, I've got some orange here, red and white. I love rainbow chard. I love this recipe so much because it's easy to make and we are gonna do it quickly. Here we go. We're gonna take this chard and really easily, I'm just going to remove the green part off of the stalk. Simple as that, right? You end up with this stalk. You can enjoy this sauteed, and it is great over rice or pasta. Fantastic. You can also use these in the patties, but since we're making these quick and easy, we're going to save these for another dish later. Right now, I'm just going for the leaves. Remove these big leaves. Like I said, they just pop right off very, very easily. That's it. Now, Swiss chard or rainbow chard, it is the same vegetable. It comes in a lot of different colors. You can get white chard, red chard, or rainbow chard, and it all is the same. It acts the same, it tastes the same, and it is very similar to spinach. So I have my leaves here right on my cutting board. I'm gonna do an overhead cam so that you can follow along with me. And what I'm gonna do is get my pan next to me on a medium-high heat. I wanna make sure that this is on a medium-high heat so that we can actually saute these greens. Like I said, it only takes a second. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil right to my side pan, less than a tablespoon. If you are whole food plant-based and you can't use oil, that is okay. You can actually use just a bit of water. So I have my leaves, right? I'm gonna take them, I'm gonna crunch them up, making sure not to damage them, but I'm just going to then slice them into strips. Now, don't you worry here. It's gonna actually saute down just like spinach does, and it will not look like this much when we're done. All right, this is gonna go right into my pan. You can also steam this if you don't wanna saute it. That will work just fine as well. And I'm gonna season this with a little bit of cracked black pepper and a little bit of kosher salt or sea salt. You can leave this out if you are salt-free, or I highly recommend using amazing kelp granules. If you are choosing to be salt-free, kelp granules are great. They're gonna be salty, a little bit of green, but they're gonna act just like salt. It's fantastic. Just let that do its thing. It's gonna cook up really quickly, like I said. There we go. And you can also use a little red pepper flake or red pepperoncini. Now, I have this here, one of my favorite things. I'm Sicilian, as you know, or now you do know, if you didn't know already. This is super hot. Now, if you're making these for kids or other family members that don't like that heat, you can take it out. That's just fine. You can also add any other flavor profile seasonings like garlic powder, onion powder, dried chive, dried thyme, dried basil. All of these things would work really well. So just kind of put whatever flavorings you want in the pan. Now, we need to actually make sure that we have the other ingredients on hand and ready to go while this is cooking up. So I'm gonna talk you through the other ingredients. You're gonna want a little bit of flaxseed meal, all right? We're gonna use this to make a plant-based egg. This is really easy. You want 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal. All it is simply ground flaxseed with 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. You wanna do this ahead of time, and I've already started it. I have it in a little side bowl right here. This is 1 tablespoon of flaxseed with 2 tablespoons of water, and this is going to be the perfect plant-based egg. It's really, really great. This will take 5 minutes to gel up, so this needs to actually be made ahead of time. You can do it right now. Now, you also want some sort of breadcrumbs. I'm gonna use almond meal. Now, the original recipe for this is a wonderful family recipe that I grew up eating. I grew up eating this like once, sometimes twice a week When I got to college and as a young adult, I would make these multiple times a week because, like I said, they're super versatile. You can use these patties in a lot of different applications. I love to make them at the very beginning of the week, and throughout, I will use them as croutons for soup. I'll also use them as meatballs or patties on top of spaghetti, like spaghetti and meatballs. You could also actually stuff these inside of burger buns or inside of wraps, so they're great as sandwiches. Fantastic and versatile. Today, I'll show you how to actually enjoy them just as like a tapa or a canapé, like a small side appetizer. I'm gonna serve them with a little bit of a spicy hummus on top and a pickled jalapeno, and it's gonna be a perfect balanced snack. All right, this is great. This is looking really, really great. Like I said, I just wanna wilt this. I don't need to cook it all the way down. I just need to wilt it to make sure that it's softened, and then we can add the other ingredients, okay? I'm going to grab my mixing bowl, and to this, I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of what I'm gonna use as my breadcrumb substitute. This is just almond meal. 1/4 cup goes right in. Now, the original recipe that my nanas and my moms used to make is breadcrumbs, regular old-fashioned breadcrumbs, and Parmesan cheese. But I'm going to substitute the breadcrumbs for the almond meal. It's really, really great substitute, and I'm gonna use plant-based Parmesan. I'll show you here on the overhead. I made this many, many times on this live stream, and I'll make it again many times in the future. This is 2 ingredients. It's nutritional yeast and raw cashews blended together, pulsed in a food processor, and what you end up with is this Parmesan-like amazing, delicious Parmesan. It's wonderful. You can use it for pasta. You can use it on top of soups. You can use it inside of patties and rolls like we're making here. Really, really good stuff. All right, this is good. I'm going to turn off the heat. The Swiss chard is done. You could also add a kick of protein. If you wanted more protein, you can add hemp seeds. Now, I love hemp seeds because in only 3 tablespoons, you're going to get 10 whopping grams of protein. So I'll add 3 tablespoons to this. This is optional, though. You don't need it. There is plenty of protein in these dark leafy chard leaves. Don't be fooled. Those chard leaves have a ton of amazing macronutrients, protein, fiber, and so many other micronutrients like vitamins. Fantastic for you, including an amazing amount of iron as well. Now I'm going to throw in my flax egg. You can see this is really kind of jelly-like now. Do you see that? Kind of looks like gel. We got the hemp seeds, we got the Parmesan, and we've got the just almond meal. At this point, I'm going to throw in the Swiss chard. Now, you don't even need to clean this side pan because you're going to use it one more time. Put it right back on. Now, here you want to add a little bit more extra virgin olive oil. You could use coconut oil as well. Again, get this on a medium high, and then mix up your chard with all of your breadcrumbs and your Parmesan and your hemp seeds. Fantastic. Now, it seems a little wet right now, but that's okay. We want this to kind of look a little wet. It's going to be moist. That means that the patty itself and final product will also be moist and so delicious. Really simple. All right, so at this point, you can remove any rings that you have, right? You don't want to get those dirty. I want to grab a handful. I want to make golf ball size pieces. This is probably, my guess is going to make like 4 to 6. Make a little mound. Now you can make this into a ball or a patty. I'm going patty today because like I said, I'm going to do canapé style. I'm going to serve this with a little tiny amount of hummus on top and a pickled jalapeno. And then this goes right into your hot oiled pan. Don't be alarmed. You might get a lot of kind of like that breadcrumb mix. That's okay. It's going to all be delicious together. Works really nicely together. And it's a little warm, but not so warm that you can't touch it. It's not overly hot or anything like that. I recommend just going ahead and steaming or sauteing your Swiss chard and then making your patties or your balls immediately. This is going to keep the nutrients intact in the chard. It's going to keep them green and delicious. Really yummy. All right, so we ended up with 5. Perfect. Wonderful. You can see I'm not squeezing it too tight. Kind of just leaving it into a nice patty or a ball. Right on. All right, let that cook up. I want it to brown nicely in my pan. This is going to take a few minutes on each side for sure. And if you need to, you can actually add more oil, but you shouldn't need to at all. This should be fine. Hey guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. I can see who's here with me. Hi, Auntie Mela, good to see you. I just want to also take a second to kind of like talk about, well, Tina, that's my hair, right? Look at my hair today. I don't know. I look like an Italian queen. I can't tell you. I had to wash my hair today because I don't wash her every day. My hair is called Tina. Yes, I did give her a name. I get this from Tabitha Brown. She loves her hair. She loves to name her hair. This is my hair. Tina, you're looking good today. You're looking plump. You're looking good. Auntie Mela, what do you think? Huh? All right. That's right. Don't get distracted. Come back here. Let's get to our Swiss chard patties. These are looking great. I can tell that they're great because I can hear that sizzling. Perfect. Tina, what do you think about these Swiss chard patties? Oh, yeah, she's into it. Okay, she's really into it. She can't wait. All right, so after a few seconds, I'm just going to flip these. Not ready quite yet. Give it some time. I want to actually flip these when they are very, it's easy to come kind of off the pan. I want to make sure that it has a nice kind of caramelized brownish color on the base. All right. And turn on your overhead fan, your exhaust. Don't do this without, because this is going to get nice and smoky and delicious. All right, this is looking great. You guys can make this big too. I really love to make a big Swiss chard patty, which is like a huge kind of mound. You can make this in the oven as well as on the stovetop. I've done it in the oven as well. So good. You can make these multiple different ways in the oven. You can put them in a cupcake tin or like inside of a cupcake liner. Fantastic. You can actually prepare this on a cookie sheet or a baking sheet with a silk pad on the outside, underneath, excuse me, and you can make a big giant patty. It's going to take a while to cook up in the oven, but it kind of gets soft and delicious. It's not as crispy on the outside, but it's cooked all the way through. It's so great. It's like perfectly done when it's in the oven. It dries out a little bit more, but it's really good. So you can do that, and you can serve it like a frittata. You would then take it out of the oven, and you would cut it up kind of like a big frittata piece. All right, now look at this, will you? Take a look. I got some browning here. Fantastic. I'm using a heat-resistant spatula. I want to make sure that I'm not going to burn my cooking utensils when I cook. Really important. Woo! Hot in here. Yeah. I wish we had an exhaust, but we don't because I'm in the garage. Hey, that's all right. We have a fan. All right, these looking good. I'm just going to take a second off and show you. I'm showing you that golden brown, right? Really yum. All right, I know. My stovetop here gets kind of fussy when I take it off the heat. You guys have any questions? Let me know. All right, meanwhile, let's get it ready. Let's get it ready for that final go. Here's how we're going to present it today. I like to do it canapé style, especially when I'm in the mood for something. Mondays are great. Mondays I really like to use as an opportunity to kind of enjoy a meatless, delicious meals throughout the day. Yes, I'm completely meatless, and I hope that you'll join me in this. Even if it's just for a day or a few days or a week, you'll really start to notice a difference. And I'm going to serve these canapé style. You can serve these like 2 or 3 at a time. You can actually pipe any topping on top. I love to pipe some sort of like a white bean or a bean topping, like a hummus or a white bean dip. Tahini dip is also really great. I've made my tahini sauce. That would be fantastic in this or on top of this because it's going to have a lot of protein. So anything that we can do to make this, like I said at the beginning, this is quick and easy and delicious, but it's also healthy. We've got to make it healthy. So we want to make it balanced. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that you're getting kind of some sort of a bean or legume element as the bit on top, as like the sauce. Now, totally optional. But when I use these inside of wraps or burgers, I also will use a little bit of hummus on top, on the bun or on the wrap itself, because that is going to add the protein content, make it much higher. But we also have hemp seeds in here, so don't be fooled. We've already got a ton of proteins. I bet you each of these scores at like 2, 3, maybe up to 5 grams of protein per each, depending on how big you make them and how much flaxseed and hemp seed that you use. Both contain a ton amount of protein. as well as those Swiss chard greens and the stems. Let me talk about these for a second, just while these finish up. Guys, don't throw these away. I'm telling you, these are fantastic. Oftentimes, I will actually take these, the stems, I'll chop them into small bits. I will steam them up or saute them up, and then I will use them inside of my Swiss chard patty mix, my rainbow chard mix. And I will actually make these into balls and make them with the actual steamed or sauteed leaves. Perfect. You want to make sure to use these, but make sure to use them once they're sauteed and softened. You really need to make sure they're cooked up before you add them to your patty mixture, or else it's kind of like they're going to fall out. They're going to be tough. They're going to be more crunchy than everything else. And then these big guys, or gals, I'm going to call this a gal. This looks like a gal, right? This big gal right here. Look at this, thick, really, really big. You need to cut this in a few different pieces. Make these big slivers. I'll show you what I mean. Take your knife and then slice it in half. And then look, it's still huge. You can see it's nice and thick here. Slice it in half again and again and again. And you get these amazing julienne pieces. Then you can actually then chop them up. Also, you can add these to rice pilaf. It's going to add like a rainbow, amazing kind of effect to your dish. Fantastic. Look how beautiful those are. Don't throw them away. Use them, please. Perfect. All right. These are looking great. I'm going to just check the other side and flip it one more time. These are looking fantastic. I'm using very little oil, so there's going to be a little bit of blackened marks on the bottom of my pan. That's okay. I can clean those up. I want little oil, though. I don't want to overdo it on my oil content, my salt content, or my sugar content. Those are the only foods that we have to really enjoy in moderation. All right, last but not least, let me show you. This is the dip that I'm going to use on top. And yes, it's store-bought. I'm using spicy hummus dip. I love this. It's garbanzo beans with tahini and a little jalapeno pepper, as well as red pepper and paprika. So good, so delicious. What I did is actually put it inside of a pastry bag. Look at this, right? I'm using a pastry bag or a piping bag. I've made it. It's a homemade Ziploc bag here. I'm just going to take it, put the hummus inside, and then I'm going to snip off the end. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use my kitchen shears. Snip off the end, locate that little tiny piece of plastic, throw it away. These look great. And then any other garnishes that you may want. I think pickled jalapenos sound good to me. And you can also use a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to use a little parm as the base because it's pretty. Whoop, right onto my plate. There we go. I'm going to get a patty or two. Woo! There we go. And there you go. You want one, Danny? I'm making this for you. All right, I'm going to take my piping bag now. I'm going to take my piping bag. I'm grabbing it. I'm putting all the mixture towards one side of the corner of the bag, twisting it just like that pastry chef would do, and then pipe it right on top. There you go. And then right on top of this, one jalapeno, another jalapeno, make it spicy. Come on, get into it. Get into it. Will you look at that for a minute? That looks delicious. You can obviously use the jalapenos or not, use the spicy hummus or not. This looks fantastic. Tina, you into this? I think Tina's into this too. I'm going to take a little bite, if you wouldn't mind. Cheers. So good. Moist, crispy, spicy hummus is perfect. It's going to give that whole thing kind of like that round, kind of finished effect because it's got some sort of sauce on top. Make it your own. Make it guacamole. Make it white bean. Doesn't matter. Anything you want on top. And then that pickled jalapeno. Perfect. That is delicious. It's spicy. It's nutritious. Don't be fooled. It's quick and easy. I hope this is a good one. I hope that you'll try this. If you try this recipe, let me know. Will you tag a sister? My name is Chef Daniela Malfitano. Again, you can follow me on Instagram as well as Facebook and on YouTube at Plant Based Made Easy. I'm going to come back and give you more recipes throughout the week. As we do, please continue to join in. If you want to see me make something that you haven't seen me make before, please let me know. Send me a DM. get in contact with me. I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm your gal, I've got you covered. I want you to be successful, confident, and competent in the kitchen. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.